I think everything we're seeing with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle just confirms and validates that they never had a plan in this. Their only plan was getting out of the royal family and doing what they done. Oprah and Netflix selling out as much as they can in the hope they could claim as much victimhood so they could bask. They never had a plan B. They never had a moment to think, what if they don't warm to you and me? What if they don't believe you and me? What if they pick apart everything we speak at the seams and recognize our hypocrisy? They didn't have a plan for this. And this is why we see them desperately trying to pull in the last few years or whatever that may be before William steps into his reign over this country, when he gets the power to say, no, I don't think so. I will respect my grandmother's rules and what she set out for you, you fool. You know, that's what I feel, you know. We've watched her jam, even as simple as that. We watch it go from strawberry to raspberry. No mention of that. As ever, no accountability or no reality spoken to the hiccups along the way. Just smile and no one will recognise the real demise of what's gone on behind the scenes. The gaslighting on full display as the people, me and you, were dragged in to spectate this on full display. To watch Harry sit on that sofa and do what he has, and to watch them all across all of this, it's so important that we in the aftermath recognize how important it is for you and me to find healing in our own story, to validate ourselves, to find perspective for ourselves. But as we look out, you know, to understand and accept, to find a happy, to find growth in who we are. So we're not sitting duck. So we're not sitting duck and vulnerable for someone to come along and pick us up. To love bomb us to the extreme, to say, I've got you, it's okay, everyone else is a threat, but I am your safe, because this leads to a dangerous game, and we see that across the airwaves. Anyone that's lived a kind of way, a relationship off balance, control, where you become their every breath, they can recognize what they're seeing on full display. I only have to speak to my mom and she says it the same way. It's so important that we don't self-indulge, that we don't sit in this pit, and we work as hard as we can to get out of this, because we look at William. We look at William, who's done that, who met someone who brought out the best in him. We watch Harry meet someone who's brought out the worst in him. And at this point in time, you know, it must have been lingering in deep beneath, because he wouldn't have carried on. He wouldn't pursue this with so many people saying, oh no, don't do that to the Queen. This is your gran. There would have been there would have been a moment to say, no, we need to stop. The boundaries are healthy, and no to his wife. We can't pursue this. This is my family. This was my life, my loved ones, my brother, his children, his wife. They were a big part of my life, and I'm not willing to do this. They are not going to be our sacrifice for you and me to find a happy. But there weren't any of that. And we see him now, and we see him going on about Ravek and wanting reconciliation, and he forgives them, whilst also saying, stitch up it is, and safety is not my family's priority. But then why? Why would you persist on wanting them to provide your security? You either trust them or you don't. And this is the thing. He don't know. Back and forth, here, there and everywhere. Meghan also desperately clinging on to what's left. And let's be honest, it's not a lot, you know? I wish Harry could sit in a rational reality and say, you know what? I've sacrificed all this. I want to find my happy, and turn to his wife and say, I don't want to do this. Let's go and take that money and let's go and live off grid. Let's go and do you, me and the kids. to see her response, because I can pretty much guarantee she would not be coming along. Because that's what we all see. Meg in her fame, Meg in her happy, Meg in her A-list in which she wants to be, which seems to be the only driving force in this reality. There may be a see that all this was a made-up story. The love bombing. I got you, just you and me. Privacy, that's all we need. As she slowly rolls out the children in front. It's been a disaster. And the worst trait someone can carry is to not take accountability, to not own the mistakes they made, the wrongs, to not right them. And almost like the poetic justice we see in watching Harry calling home, but not in a conventional way, because that's been taken away. No one's on the other end anymore because they can't trust to speak in fear of it being brought to us. So Harry's desperately clambering on, and that's why it's leading these emotions to sit on a TV again in front of you and me. We become the spectators to this real life catastrophe as he drags us in the hope that he can tap in to our conscience, our guilt, our emotions, our feelings, so we can feel him, so we can support him. But we can't anymore, just like they can't pick up the phone to you. We watched Thomas Markle Sr. not be able to ring his daughter and say, hey, how's it going? We watched that man be plunged into a place which he didn't choose, but he done with that the best he can to reach out to his daughter through the airwaves, through the TV, to say, please, Meg, look at me. And now we're watching Harry do the same. And yet again, the hypocrisy, because you exiled him out of your life for doing what you're doing to your family in front of us real time. But you can forgive them, can't you? You can take the security from them, can't you? You can take the royal fame, the money, the notoriety. But the man sat at home, alone, with no big name to call home. There's nowhere over there for him, is there? You know? And I suppose that's all I've got to say as I speak my opinions, my thoughts on the aftermath and more. It's so important that we find healing, that we find validation, that we found balance, acceptance and growth. It's so important that you and me in this journey, that we let go of the negative in our story, that we take the good out of the bad the best we can. And what we fought from our sad start was our guaranteed fate, that we say no, not today. A new chapter written by me in my name, because this is my story. From start, the bad, do all I can to take the good out of that, to work on that, to build a brighter me, so I don't end up is a vengeful Prince Harry, you know, vulnerable, sitting duck to anyone to come and take advantage of us.